In this one, I am going to show you slider settings to make your Cricket 26 experience realistic as well as challenging. These are going to be challenging sliders, so if you want to win every match, this is definitely not it, but this is going to be as realistic as this game can get. Let's start off with the test sliders. First off, we have AI difficulty on legend and then striker timing at 40 because this is a test match. You don't want the AI to score all that easily. So 40 is a good enough balance between them being too aggressive and too defensive. You can keep this a little higher than T20s and ODIs because AI is a little better at batting in test match cricket. So for both wicket chance, pace and spin, it's set at 40. Ball quality, I have it at 100 because I like to face some tough challenging bowling. When you keep this on 100, the AI will bowl a lot better, but occasionally you will get a loose ball as well, so you can score on that. This does make scoring a little harder and it kind of emulates test cricket very well. Run rate is set at 50. If you go lower than this, it doesn't really change all that much unless you go to like 10 or 20. You can keep this anywhere between 20 and 50. The AI will score between 3 or 4 runs and over, nothing more or nothing less either. Then we have bowling pace difficulty hardest. You don't really need to change anything. If you are bowling too many no balls, you can change ideal foot plant window size to 10 and ideal release window size to 10 as well. But if you want to keep it as hard as possible, then 0 works, but doesn't really change all that much. Now we get to batting. This is where you make or break the game. The base difficulty is set on hardest and then you move on to ball marker display time, which is set at only 25. This gives you only a little bit of time to react. So you don't have as much time as T20s or ODIs to play and pick a shot. You just have to wait for the ball to come and then play at the last second. Again, makes batting a little harder. You sometimes misjudge the length or the line. Early shot timing window and late shot is at 0. If batting is a little too challenging, you can keep this at 10 or 20, but 0 is where it is most challenging, and for test matches, I think it is okay. Shot timing difficulty is set at 90. Short timing difficulty is actually a very fair slider. When your input is on point, the game reacts well. It's not like foot placement. Next up, we have advanced short timing difficulty. If you keep this at 50, you can use your feet a lot more. 70, because I don't really play advanced shots, but if you want to play them and keep it realistic, keep it at 50. In that case, you will be able to connect when you come down the pitch, but also it won't be very easy. Next, you have spin timing window. This is default 100 and pace timing window default 83 as well. I have striker skill bonus at 20 so that there is a difference between batsmen and bowlers. So when you're playing with a top order batsman, their rating is higher, they have better skills, so it is a little easier to bat. When you bat with number 11, it's not going to be easy at all. Another thing that makes batting a little bit more realistic. Foot placement difficulty is at 90, but I think 80 is where it's good because this is not really fair. Sometimes what you want to do and what the batsman on screen will do is completely different. So if you don't want it to be too frustrating, set it at 80 or 70. Shot selection influence 90. This actually works. If you try to play a drive against a ball pitching on leg stump, you're going to miss. If you try to flick a ball that is outside off, you're probably going to leading edge the ball. This influences that a lot, so you have to play on the merit of the ball. 90 is fair. If you want to make it even harder, of course, there is always 100. Ball quality influence 100. So good balls are harder to play and bad balls are easier to put away. So keep this at 100. This is a slider that works very well in test match cricket. Ideal input power boost is at 20. You can keep this at 0, but 20 is just a little bit more incentive to play well. If you time the ball well, it will go away for 4 if you can find the gap, that is. Even with drives and flicks, straight drives along the ground a little harder, but every other shot it is perfectly balanced. Poor input power penalty is at 100, so if you mistime the ball is not gonna go anywhere, which is how it should be. Next, we move on to edges. Sometimes with even good input, you will edge the ball. If you want it to be completely fair, 0 is where it is at, but 10 is just a little bit of a lottery sometimes. Even when you play a good shot, you edge it. That can happen in real life, so I like to set it at 10. Okay input again 30, so sometimes you'll edge it, sometimes you'll get 4. You never really know what will happen. Poor input is a 90, but 100 also works. 90 is just, again, you don't know what will happen. Even with poor input, you can middle the ball, or of course most of the time you will edge it. Don't need to change anything here. Aggressive shot power boost, keep this at 0. This is just completely game breaking. If you keep this at 50, all aggressive shots are too overpowered, and in test matches that just does not look good. Next we have fielding, again base difficulty hardest, and now we move on to physics. This is probably the most important section in sliders, to customize your gameplay, to make it as realistic as possible, and of course as challenging as possible as well. Pace bowling speed minimum is at 80, maximum is also at 80. Faster than this, the ball's just gonna zap around, it's not gonna look good. Slower than this, it is like way too slow, especially in a test match. You want the ball to carry around, you want to be late sometimes if it's a good ball. Nothing changes here, and then we move on to pace bowling swing. I keep it at 100 just to make it a little bit harder, and when the ball swings around it just looks good, so I keep it at 100. You can keep it lower. Pace bowling revolutions for test matches, I keep it at 50 because cutters aren't really a thing in test matches. Bowlers usually don't bowl it. If you keep this a little higher, then cutters are going to be overpowered, which is not the case at all in test matches. Cutters are useless. So 50 is a good balance. Spin bowling drift is set at only 33. Anything above this, off spinners, the ball will look like it's pitching outside off and then will end up down the leg side. So don't change drift that much. It is somewhat broken. Next we have spin bowling revolutions. It is set at 100. Again, when the ball turns, it does look good. So I have set it at 100. You can change pace bowling swing and spin bowling revolutions according to the pitch as well. Grassy pitch, swing is at 100. Dry or dusty pitch, revolutions are at 100. But I usually keep both of these at 100. Then again, nothing needs to be changed here. Next, we move on to shot force, which is set at 30. This is just to make scoring a little harder. And now that you can customize each shot, keeping this at 30 gives you plenty of room to customize what each shot looks like and what happens when you play it well. Pace bowling visual speed is at 70, spin bowling is at 50. Next you come down here to drive shot force, which is set at 40 just because of the cover drive. Sometimes these cover drives just go like a bullet. Set it at 50 if you want straight drives to be powerful as well, but then cover drives become a little too powerful. 40 is, I think, a good balance. Now for aggressive shots, all aggressive shots, I have set them at 30 because this is a test match, and if you can slog every ball and get 4s and 6s, you don't really need to play like it's a test match, right? So keep it at 30 or sometimes even 20 to make scoring really, really hard. Cut shot force is at 40. This is again debatable. You can keep this at 30 as well. Cut shots are just a little overpowered, not a lot, just a little overpowered. So 30 works. Aggressive again only 30. Gland shot force is at 40. Flicks are very well powered. They're not too powerful. If you mistime them, of course, they don't go anywhere. Then you have aggressive shot, and that is set at 30. Here you don't really need to change anything for a test match, especially if you find that lofted shots are too powerful, just keep this at 20. That's what I do if lofted shots seem a little too easy to pull off. Unorthodox shot force is at 50 because it's much harder to time unorthodox shots. So if you manage to time them, you should get the reward, right? So that's why they are at 50. Same goes with aggressive unorthodox shot force. Here you don't really need to change anything for umpire. Then we move on to player skills, which is a new addition to the game. AI control player batting skills is at 70 because I've seen a lot of low scores. They'll get all out under 300 most of the time. Ever since I increased this a little bit, the AI has been batting well. Scores above 400 are a little bit more common, which adds variety to the game. Sometimes the AI will get all out under 300 as well. Sometimes it's more than 400. AI control player bowling skills is at 50 because if you set this any higher, it is nearly impossible to bat. If you keep this at 100, you will play and miss every ball. Doesn't matter how well you play. AI control player fielding skills is at 100, of course. Fielding is not a strong suit, so keep this at 100 to make sure fielders actually at least try to field well. AI control player physical skills. This I haven't really noticed any difference. I've just set it at 100. I have changed it to 0 to 50, 100. Not really noticed all that much of a difference. Then you have user control player batting skills. I've set it at 70 because when I keep it at 50, batting becomes just too frustrating. You play and miss even when you're playing well. But when I was playing on the worst pitch, for example, I set it at 50, so it made batting a lot harder. User controlled player bowling skills is also set at 50. If it's any more than 50, you'll take wickets left, right and center. On good batting pitches, you can even set this to 30, but for a good balance, 50 is good enough. Well, now let's move on to the T20 sliders. Okay, for T20 sliders again, AI based difficulty is set at legend. Striker timing is set at 40 because sometimes you want those mistimed shots for the AI to be caught at the deep. So when you set it at 40 or 30, the AI will try to play aggressive shots. Sometimes it'll go for 6, sometimes it'll be caught at the deep. This brings a nice variety. 40 if you want some high scores. Wicket chance, you have to set this very low because for some reason when you keep this any higher than 50, the AI will just crumble, lose wickets left and right. So I keep this at 20 for pace and 10 for spin because the keeper was taking every single catch that was going behind square on the offside and on the leg side. It was too much, so I've set this to 10 to make sure that doesn't happen a lot. Ball quality 50, some are going to be good balls, some are going to be bad balls. That's how it is in a T20. Run rate is of course set at 70 to make sure the AI actually scores. When the AI is chasing 220 plus, it'll play like it's chasing 160. So sometimes you even have to set this to 100. Bowling base difficulty hardest, nothing to change here. And then now base difficulty for batting is also hardest, but now there are going to be a lot more differences than the test match sliders. Ball marker display time, as you can see, a lot more time. We have set it at 45 to give you plenty of time to think of what shot to play. And next we have early shot timing window at 5 and late shot. So this just makes that good timing window a little bigger. So if you're just a little early, it won't really affect what happens with the shot, and same goes with if you're just a little late. If batting is a little too hard, you can set this at 10. It'll make things just a little easier. Shot timing difficulty is at 80. Advanced shot timing is at 60. Nothing really needs to change here. I have said what happens with those sliders when I was explaining the test match sliders. Foot placement difficulty, I've set it only at 60, very low. These aren't T20 sliders, so I want it to be a little bit more batter friendly. Same goes with shot selection, only at 70. Ball quality influence is also lowered at 80. Ideal input you have at 20. So when you play good shots, you will get some runs. So hitting sixes is just a little easier as well. Poor input again, not at 100, it's at 90. And now edges, good input is at 0. So when you play good shots, you don't edge the ball. OK is at 20. Sometimes you might edge it, but most of the time you will be fine. Even with poor input, I'm not set it at 100. So most of the time you will edge it, but sometimes you won't. Next, let's move on to physics. I've set pace bowling speed minimum and maximum to 70, just a little lower than the test match sliders. And what's the next change? Pace bowling swing, not at 180. We are playing with a wide ball, so the ball shouldn't swing that much. Now revolutions are set to 70 because cutters and slow balls play a big part in T20s. When you keep this at 70 or higher, cutters are going to be very hard to play. 70 is a good balance. If you play well, you can still connect. If you keep this any higher, you're just gonna play and miss at every leg and off cutter. Spin bowling revolutions 50. Again, spinners don't really try to turn the ball all that much in T20s. So 50 is natural. Short force is also at 50, not at 30. Giving you a little bit more power to clear the fence and find the gaps as well. Pace bowling visual speed, same 70. To the drive shot force, which I have set at 50. Because of straight drives, obviously straight drives is a little underpowered, so I've set it at 50. Same goes for aggressive drive shot. And when you keep this at 60 or 70, you can hit sixes down the ground as well without making other shots too overpowered. So keep this at 60. Cut shots are a little too overpowered, so both aggressive and normal cuts are at 40. Glances and aggressive glance shots are at 50. Flicks actually very well powered in the base game itself. Hook shots are a little overpowered, so I've set a normal hook to 40 and aggressive hook as well to 40. So if you do play with ideal timing, you will get 6, but if it's okay or anything lower, you will get caught at the deep. Unorthodox shots is set at 60. If you do manage to connect with the reverse scoop, you are gonna get runs, but it is very hard to connect with. Player skills, AI controlled player batting skills are at 80 to make sure the AI actually tries to be aggressive and is successful as well. With this, you will have a lot more high scores, some low scores as well. It is a nice balance. AI controlled player bowling is at 50. You can even keep this a little lower, because even 50 feels just a little too good. AI controlled player fielding, of course, 100. Physical skills doesn't matter. User again at 70 to make batting a little easier, because this is a T20 match. And I've set player bowling to 30 because it's taking too many wickets in T20s and just running through the AI. So when you keep it at 30, it will be a little bit more competitive when you are bowling and the AI is batting. User controlled player skills, this is supposed to be at 100. I am using automatic fielding, so it's basically like the AI is fielding. And yeah, so that is it for T20 sliders. Let's move on to the ODI sliders, which are basically between T20 and Test sliders. So base difficulty is legend again, wicket pace, striker timing 40, and wicket chance you get 30 and 30. AI little better at batting in ODIs than T20s, but still not very good. So 30 is good, 50 is too much. The AI will barely bat 50 overs most of the time. Bowl quality is at 70, good bowling but not consistently good bowling. Run rate 60 to make sure the AI actually scores about 300 at times. Sometimes it'll be between 250 and 300. Sometimes if you bowl really bad, it can even go above 400. Bowling difficulty again, nothing really needs to be changed here. Hardest is fine. Batting once again at hardest, but this time ball marker display time, we have little less time than T20s and a little more time than T20 cricket. Early shot timing again, just to make that good timing window a little bigger, giving batsmen just a little bit more to work with, because batting is not all that easy in this game, but it still should be a little challenging. Shot timing difficulty is at 80 because it is well balanced. Advanced at 60, spin timing, and then we have foot placement difficulty. I have set this at 80, but now I think I have to change it to 70. 80 is just a little too hard. Foot placement doesn't work that well in this game. Shot selection is at 80, ball quality is at 80. Ideal input again 20, I explained why. Edges, good 0, okay 30, and poor also it should be at 80. Next up we have physics. Not many changes here. This is almost similar to T20s, just a little bit more swing and a little bit more spin. Nothing really changes here. As you can see, I've set shot force for most shots right down the middle, because during the power play shots are a little easier than after the power play. You have to change the sliders again. If you keep it in the middle, it is good enough for both power play batting as well as after the power play. Cut shot again 40. Aggressive glance shots are at 40 because I was flicking too many balls over fine leg easily, so I've set it at 40. Normal glance shots are at 50. Hook pull again 40 and 40. Unorthodox shots are at 60. I explained why. And then we move on to player skills. Again, nothing really all that different from T20s. Just have to make sure AI batsmen have a little bit more to work with. So pretty much the same. That's it for sliders. Now let's move on to my camera settings. So my camera preset is usually 90% of the time I play with broadcast dynamic, but sometimes in career mode I do like to play custom as well. Bowling camera is bowling far and batting camera is batting far. This is a more personal way to play the game. It does look good, especially batting far camera angle. You have to try it. It might actually be better than the broadcast camera. It is easier to bat. It feels more realistic as well. And for career mode, I think it is the best. So try this out. If this doesn't work, just set this back to broadcast dynamic and it will feel like you are watching a match on TV. Well, those were all the settings and sliders and difficulties I used to make Cricket 26 realistic and challenging. These things keep changing because they release 100 patches. But for now, I think this is fair, also challenging. If you want to see these sliders in action, I've given you 2 videos here on the screen. One to see T20 sliders in action where we scored freely, and another video where I batted and struggled to even score 200 runs in a test match on the worst pitch For now, like, comment and subscribe for more Cricket 26 videos and updates. Thanks for watching and have a great day wherever you are.